日本時間6月26日、各米メディアでは、昨日の試合で、ドジャースの大谷翔平選手が、マウンド上で、ダルトン・ラッシング捕手に対し、厳しい表情で言葉をかけたシーンについて、言及をしました。MLB 公認の投球アナリストでもあり、現役選手からも絶大な人気を誇る、ピッチング忍者の愛称で知られるロブ・フリードマン氏が、ラッシング選手について怒り爆発する場面もありました。ここからは、その様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
We are back and have a huge show for you.
Ninja, the Dodgers' backup catcher, full-time rabble-rouser, and absolute headline machine. Dalton Rushing is back at it again. Ninja, tell everybody why.
Rushing tried to lay a huge turd in a beautiful Shohei outing is what he did yesterday. Painting a mustache on the Mona Lisa. This man cannot get out of the way of himself. Exhibit 1. Shohei wants to challenge this pitch. It is dotted 99. He goes like this. Rushing's like, no, don't do it. It's not a strike. Well, guess what, Dalton? It's a fucking strike. Shohei is pissed off. You can see in his mannerisms, his face, and Shohei doesn't show a lot of pissed off emotions. He's not happy. Next time this happens, Rushing botches a frame here. I don't know if he has no idea what pitch is coming, but they had pitch comm. He totally botches this. Shohei's like, I know this is a strike. He's not even going to leave it to Rushing because he knows Rushing. Actually, they make eye contact. Rushing's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Shohei's like, F you. I won't do what you tell me. Bats his head, almost giving himself a concussion. And yes, Shohei was right because of course he was right. I don't know where this guy comes from telling the unicorn what's a strike and what's not a strike. But I will tell you one thing. He can't even do pitch comm right. They were crossed up a ton of times here. Watch this ball go all the way to the backstop. Turns out Shohei was right on that too. As Rushing discusses after the game, yeah, it's all his fault. No shit, it's all your fault, Dalton. Shohei had his best stuff, and Dalton Rushing was doing a better job than any hitter against Shohei in trying to mess up his outing. That's what pissed me off. And then acting this little attitude he's giving Shohei here, almost like an eye roll on this challenge. I'm like, dude, what the hell? Shohei is a god, and you're not even a subject of the god. You're just below ground piece of dirt.
Everyone on the internet seems to think he'll be dealt by the trade deadline. Do you think so?
I wouldn't want him. Maybe deal him to Savannah Bananas, and I don't think they'd want him because he's not that entertaining, unless they need a heel.
This is the angriest I've ever seen you about anything. Love this side of you, Ninja.
How about WWE or something if they need a heel?
Just put him in the clown show when it comes to town.
I mean, I don't understand it. I know he's trying hard. I get it. He's an interesting character, to say the least, but holy living crap. I don't understand what was going on, and it was really frustrating. Thank God everybody felt the same way, including Dalton Rush.
I didn't do a great job. Start to finish. It was pretty embarrassing. Thankfully, he's as good as he is, and he could take control of a game. Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. I'm just glad we won.
What exactly happened on the cross-out?
When I talked about it, it was error on my side, and I messed it up. So
they won because Ohtani was still Ohtani. There was a recovery. He did go 6 innings. He gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, but only 2 of those were earned. Walked a couple guys, struck out 8. If we're going to round up, it's actually 99.8, but rounding up makes this cooler. That is the first start of his career where on fastballs, he averaged 100 miles per hour on the ball, on fastballs. On the ball that got away from Rushing, it was a 101.7. And the reality, Doug McCain, you know better than anybody, D-Mac, if you look at all the games that Will Smith who's injured, has caught Shohei Ohtani, it's 61 innings pitched over 10 outings, 5 earned runs this year. If you look at what Rushing has done, it is 18 2/3 innings and almost twice the earned runs, 9 earned runs. So it's 3 outings, 9 earned runs for Rushing, 10 outings, 5 earned runs for Will Smith. Maybe that's Shohei Ohtani's fault, but maybe Dalton Rushing better get a lot better at his job with Ohtani very, 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 very quickly.
It was not a fun day for Dalton Rushing yesterday. I think it's easy to say that it was the most embarrassing day of his pro career. He went viral for the wrong reasons. This season, Dalton Rushing has turned into a villain for other teams, and yesterday it was the first time where it felt like he turned into a villain for the Dodgers. And for me, I want to plant my flag here and say, I'm 100% team Dalton Rushing. And not what he did was right, because you don't want to show up Superman, right? You do not want to in any way try to big time the unicorn, the best player on the planet. And there were multiple instances, as you pointed out, where Shohei won to do a challenge. You had the one at the bottom of the first inning with the 2 outs. Ohtani shakes his head. And the second one where it was a sweeper. It was a really bad frame job, too. So catcher framing, you're trying to get a strike in the zone. Ohtani knew it was a strike, and Rushing is like, don't do it. Don't do it. He's showing him up, and Shohei basically hit himself so hard in the head, I thought he was going to get a concussion, right? And that was very aggressive for Shohei Ohtani. He typically does not do that. You do not tell the unicorn what to do. And then on top of that, I think the most egregious one was, as you talked about, the cross up there with the bases loaded, 1 out, and he throws a pitch, almost hits 102 miles per hour on the gun, gets past him, and that was Rushing's fault. He had his best stuff yesterday. He would have probably gone 7, maybe even 8 innings with how he was dealing, how inept that Minnesota Twins offense is. But I am absolutely mind blown by how quickly a lot of people in this fan base want to jettison Dalton Rushing. It basically felt like I was saying that it was Dalton Machado or Dalton Correa or Dalton Tatis Jr. It felt like Dodgers fans wanted to change the code on the Dodgers facilities so he can't be a team on this team anymore. And I will say this. I hear your stat, and I saw everyone posting that stat. Oh, a .74 ERA with Will Smith in 10 games. Oh, a 4.34 ERA with Dalton Rushing in 3 games. Stats are evidence. They're not the verdict.
There's lies, damn lies, and statistics, but that's a pretty egregious change. And we just saw yesterday, Dalton Rushing was so bad at his job that Shohei Ohtani, who tips his cap to umpires who screw him over, was visibly frustrated, speaking to him out of annoyance, looking at, Shohei Ohtani clearly thinks there's a problem.
I'm not saying there's not a problem, but I'm just saying that, wow, breaking news, a catcher in Dalton Rushing who's barely old enough to rent a car at 25, who's only caught 73 games, who is not a multi-time All-Star like Will Smith, is not going to be as good as a All-Star World Series winning catcher.
No one is saying is good. We're saying don't subtract from the sum of all human joy. Don't be a disaster. Don't be...
But you are...
Look, I'm not even sure where I come down on this, but you...
My point is this.
Is he your secret agent to get Ohtani out of the Cy Young race? Like, you're almost making it sound like you don't think that he had a bad outing yesterday, or that it's a problem.
Oh, it was a big problem.
Okay,
but
good.
I think it was a learning lesson, too. And I think that when you look at maturity for a young player, I always say this when it comes to these young players, especially Dalton Rushing, who runs hot, who's very emotional, who, let's not forget, just a couple days ago got hit in the head and was in concussion protocol. So I'm sure he's not 100% healthy. That maturity for a young player is not a light switch, it's a dimmer. And for Dalton Rushing, someone who is trying to make his way in an organization as All-Stars and Hall of Famers, who's filling in for Will Smith, he is doing something at a part of the season where...
I agree with all of it. I agree with all of it. D-Mac and Ryder 97.1 The Fan. But here's the issue. I agree with everything that you said, and I am rooting for Dalton Rushing. You and I are in a business of ambitious people. We live in L.A., in a city of ambitious people. It's okay to be ambitious. It's okay to learn. It's okay to fail as you go. I'm with you. Failure, you said this a week ago. You quoted somebody famous, is the rough draft of massive success. But in our business, in the business of Los Angeles, in the business of ambition, in the business of writing, whatever you want that draft to turn into, that's your opus, you cannot be so arrogant as to wave off the actual teachers and mentors and people around you who are better at it. The issue, I don't think, for most of us, is that Dalton Rushing struggled. It's the way in which he didn't lean into Shohei Ohtani's expertise when Ohtani was saying to him, I know what's what, let me challenge here. I don't think it's the pass ball. I don't think it's the 0 for 4. I don't think it's the 3 strikeouts. I think it is the fact that he got over his skis a little bit and didn't just go in that moment of maybe ego, maybe just being overwhelmed as a young guy. Shohei Ohtani wants this thing. It's a challenge in this case. I'm going to give him this thing. I think and this is an easy thing to fix. Trust Shohei Ohtani and understand, if you're Dalton Rushing, it's going to your point, Doug McCain, it's going to take a while to get where you want to go, but you don't learn by brushing off the people that already know. Do you speak Japanese? Because I don't know this. There's a gentleman in the chat who's clearly a Shohei fan. His handle is in Japanese, so I apologize that I don't know how to pronounce your name. You don't do any Japanese, do you?
A little bit.
Do you want to try to read this? Okay, no.
You hit it.
To the gentleman from Japan, he says, Dalton, you shouldn't let your emotions get the better of you. The catcher is like the manager on the field. He has to be the wisest one out there. He shouldn't fly off the handle like a lot of hot water. And then Donnie Boy 05 has nicknamed him, I'm assuming you want me to read this, Birch, based on the fact you gave it to me, Dalton Douching, which is not very nice, but it is funny.
Yes, it is a significant drop-off when you go from an all-star catcher with experience to a catcher that has caught 73 games. What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to DFA him? Do you want to trade him? The point is, young players make mistakes. Young players are going to... Here's the thing about Dalton Rushing. He got scolded, man. He got scolded in that Dodgers dugout. He got absolutely humiliated.
Can I ask you this,
Sure.
T-Mac and Ryder? Do you think they were putting their arm around Tim as the spin is gone? As oh shucks, you're gonna be okay? To me, it looked like a get your bleep together. This is the big leagues.
Absolutely. No, that was, hey, but here's the thing, though. What do you really think he went rogue? Do you think he went rogue and said,
here's
what?
Here's what I think. I think that, I've been in this position in my job, and I don't know if you have or not. I won't speak for you. I've been in positions where I've gotten big opportunities, and it's kind of life-changing, or there's a lot of pressure, and I just choked and screwed it up. And I was able to bounce back. I have a very specific memory of one, how I ended up in Los Angeles. I think Dalton Rushing is super confident, or at least pretends that he is, and that arrogance is probably part of that mix. And he went out there and he got sideways with the biggest superstar on earth who doesn't get sideways with many people. And he just kind of lost his focus and he lost his confidence and he lost himself in the moment. I think the question, and you're exactly right. I don't think the question is whether or not Dalton Rushing screwed up and failed yesterday. That happens to everybody. But he did it in a public way and he did it with Shohei Ohtani. I think the question is, can he turn failure into the life lessons that make for great success for those that can do that?
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは、日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございます。